Hey,
How
hey
you
girl, how are you?
doing? I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good.
I'm good, except I freaking walked into a wall, which you can see a little bit. I was trying to get my,
What's
you can't
wrong?
really see it for real, but I was
Feel
trying to
like a
get
little
my
more.
sweater and I went,
What the heck, Nicole?
story of my life.
Very close.
Doesn't get easier. So we had a topic recommended to us. So we figured we'd go ahead and let it out so that she didn't think we forgot about her. I'm looking at my phone now because I actually want to share the Instagram name at least of who it was to give her a little shout out for the idea. I just gotta find it. Okay, so her Instagram is Nisi_Evans. Thank you, Nisi.
Thank you, Nisi.
We appreciate you, girl. So our topic today, we're gonna be talking all about postpartum and our experiences with it and maybe some stuff that we learned from other people that we didn't experience or things like that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say that when
Oh, wait, real quick. Did you see my hat?
oh yeah, we got the Olympic gold hat on.
Thanks to my
Okay,
mom.
with the merch. Got the merch action going on. So
Okay.
where was I gonna start? So I wanted to start off. Okay, yeah, it is hot with this sweater. I'm taking this off.
I told you were gonna get hot.
So I wanted to start off by saying that when I was pregnant with Kaya, I YouTubed everything that I could, and mostly about breastfeeding because I did only have one person that I personally knew that breastfed, which is my cousin-in-law P, Emerald's sister-in-law, and that's who I knew I could rely on to answer those questions. But when it came, so I was, like I was saying, I was YouTubing all these things, like researching breastfeeding, labor, like steps or tips to help with labor. And one thing I never thought of searching was postpartum. So I went into postpartum completely blindsided. Didn't know
Right.
what to expect. Was Googling while going through it and watching videos while going through it. But I wish I had that education before because it would have made it a little bit easier to know how I'm navigating these new ropes.
Right.
So I don't even know where to start. My postpartum experience, I had Kaya April 18th, and my postpartum experience lasted. Oh yeah, wait, before we start this, trigger warning for anybody who doesn't like to hear about blood. Okay, either skip right now or just just skip a couple minutes. So what I wanted to say was it lasted me like 8 weeks because that's when I stopped my postpartum bleeding, which I didn't know could happen. Like I thought once it was 6 weeks, done. Or there are some people that stop sooner and then you're done, which I didn't know. Um, there was a lot of stuff I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't have the experience of having to use a peri bottle for cleaning up after using the bathroom if you get stitches, because I didn't get any, thankfully. But other than that, I feel like it was a little bit smoother than I thought. I didn't. I mean, I was okay. So the postpartum symptoms I did get all the time were those like night sweats and stuff like that, or like you get like hot flashes and stuff, or
Yeah.
feel out of it. Thankfully, I didn't go through postpartum depression, but I do know people who have, and I've heard so many stories about their experience, and I'm grateful that I didn't experience that, but I'm grateful that they've gotten through it also. So I think I'll start off with that.
For me, Milo was, well, thankfully I had a healthy, happy pregnancy. When Milo was born, It was February 24th, and I would say I probably had stopped with like my postpartum like bleeding, maybe around like 4 weeks.
Dang.
Um, yeah, it wasn't long because by the time I went to my 6 weeks postpartum checkup, I was like completely done. So it was like right around 4 weeks. Let's see. I didn't go through a postpartum depression, but when they tell you that you're literally juggling a new role, leaving your like your old self and all of these new emotions and the million and one hormones that you're getting into your body still,
Yeah.
it's real. Like there were sometimes like, and I was never depressed, but there were just sometimes where I'll feel like I just had to cry.
Yeah.
Or so like, I'll Google like, is that normal? And I mean, it's something like completely normal.
Yeah.
And I had made a similar mistake where I Googled and asked a million questions to you and Paradise when I was pregnant. But one thing I never thought to look into was postpartum.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy because I remember one time Jamal and we had just laid down, Milo had just fell asleep, and I just started crying. And then he was like, "What's wrong?" And then I was like, "I don't even know." Like, I really don't. He was like, "How don't you know what's wrong?" And then I was like, "I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's just like I can't even explain it because I don't know." And he just like held me and he was like, "Well, don't cry. And like, if you feel something, just let me know." And all of this stuff. But thankfully, I never went through a depression. But I do know people that it has affected them in a negative way where, they actually went through a depression. And I would say probably there's a lot of women, more than half of women go through a postpartum depression, whether they're a mother in a relationship that has the help, or even if they're a single mother, like there's multiple women that go through it. So it's something that's completely normal, and know that you're never really alone with it. And there's always I feel like especially on like Facebook now, there's like a group page for everything.
Yeah.
You can literally go on there and have like there's chats about everything. So
Yeah.
like if you feel like you don't have the support at home, I feel like maybe outsourcing to something like that, or just finding some sort of source that could help you. Like, you see it's normal. Now how can you get over it? How can you cope with it? Or how can you even prepare for it? Because maybe if there were more women that were prepared for it, it would be a little bit easier to go through.
Yeah.
Um, I know too, like, a big part of postpartum is you just had a baby, you're going through your postpartum, you're learning how to be a mom. Sometimes you don't always have the help. Some people feel overwhelmed. There's also women that end up going through it because after their maternity leave, they have to go back to work. So there's multiple reasons for getting it. And there's some people that get it just because, like, there's not even a reason. So it's completely normal, but we just have
Out of
to
your
find ways to
control.
prepare for it. Huh?
I said that's out of your control.
Exactly. You just have to think like your body's going through a million and one brand new things.
Yeah.
You're in the mix of your body's healing, you're trying to recover, you're taking care of a newborn baby. Especially as a first time mom, anything with a newborn baby is like nerve wracking because yet, like, I mean, I have siblings. So yes, I saw my siblings when they were babies, but there's nothing like here's your baby.
Yeah.
Like, here's your baby. You guys get to go home. Like it's completely different. So um just juggling the balance between like new roles and what you're dealing with inside and your body's going through. There's a lot of different things going on that literally can make you go into any type of depression.
Yeah.
Um Also like women, if they're not even completely healed from like physically and through your postpartum stage that have more children, that can even delay your your body and your emotions with continuing to deal with postpartum without even realizing it.
Yeah.
There's women that go through postpartum without even really realizing that they're going through postpartum. So, like the best thing to do would be just, find your support system. Like me, I mean, I would constantly talk to you. I would talk to Paradise. I had Jamal. I had my like my family, my parents. So, thankfully I didn't get sucked into, you know, this loop. But for those that do, I mean, your best bet would be to just try to get the help. We're all women, so we all go through the same thing, whether we're pregnant, whether we're going through postpartum, or we don't have any kids. Like we all have similar feelings. Going through postpartum just kind of enhances a lot of those.
Yeah. Like, I remember I thought of this story because when you had said that you were in the bed with Jamal and then you had started crying.
Hmm.
I remember it was the the morning after we came home from the hospital.
Hmm.
I was like, Kyle was okay. Like he was still doing that newborn sleep all day, that
Yeah.
birthday sleep. And the next morning, it was like 6 in the morning, and I fed him, and I went to put him back down or like try to rock him back to sleep, and he wouldn't. Like he would not go to sleep.
Yeah.
He was just crying hysterically. So then
Yeah.
now I'm like, oh my god, like wait, you were fine, and this was
Right.
really
Like, what's going on?
happened. Like, why are you crying? Like, I don't even know what to do. Like, I'm just rocking him, and I'm starting to get like overwhelmed, and I'm just like rocking back and forth in the chair, and I'm in the rocking chair, and then I'm just like, I don't know what to do. So I'm gonna just keep rocking you, try to give you the boob again, whatever. And then my mom came downstairs and she was like, Nick, are you okay or whatever? And then I was like, yeah. I was like, Kaya just won't go back to sleep. Like, I don't know what to do. And
Yeah.
then she was like, oh no. You know how they like swoop in and it's like all easy.
Yeah.
So she grabs, she's like, oh no, he just wants to be up. Right? Let's go watch TV. He wants to be up.
Yeah.
I was like, what the heck? So then I was like, no, it's okay. Like, I'll take him. And then she was like, no, it's okay. Like, go take a shower, go take a nap, do whatever.
Yeah.
Just take a breath real quick, take a break, and let me take him.
Mhm.
And then I felt bad because, you get that
Yeah, mom guilt.
mom guilt. And then you're like, oh no, like, I don't want somebody else taking care of him. I want to do it all myself. I want to figure it out, myself with Malik, but somebody who's not his,
Yeah.
like, I just want to do it by myself. And then my mom,
Right. Right.
she was just like, it's okay, Mamita. Like, I'm not going to let your baby cry. Just go take a nap or
Mhm.
whatever. So then I went and I took a shower. I damn sure was not about to take a nap, but I went and took
Right.
a shower. And I'm in the shower and Malik's getting ready for work and I'm crying in the shower. And then Malik came and he was like, baby, are you okay? What's wrong? Why are you crying? And I was just like, I'm so tired. I'm so
Yeah.
tired. He's like, it's okay. I'm off tomorrow, so I'll stay up all night with Kaya. You could sleep. You could
Yeah.
sleep. Like, you'll be okay. I'll be back soon,
Mhm.
whatever. And he made me feel better. But I just remember, like, it was just, once I stepped into the shower, it was like my body, my eyes needed a shower. Like, it just started.
There was there was a time I remember, and it was literally like, so Jamal and I got home on a Friday evening. It was like maybe 4 or 5 o'clock. And that evening, I don't know what it is, but the babies sleep all night at the hospital.
Yeah.
They actually be getting woken up to get like, their temperatures taken, their vitals, all of that. That first night, he was just on and off up. And in my head, I'm like, yo, we was just in the hospital. You was sleeping all night.
Keep that same energy.
But right. And he was up like every hour, every 2 hours. So I remember, and which I look back on and I'm like, I appreciate my mom so much because that next morning, it was like 7:30, 8 in the morning. And she texted me, she was like, do you want me to come get Milo so you guys can relax for a little bit? So at first I thought about it, I felt bad, but then I was like, there would be no way I can function throughout the day if I didn't get at least 1 to 2 hours of like straight sleep.
Yeah.
So she came and got him. She took him to her room, and he was with his grandma and grandpa. And those must have been like the best 2 hours of sleep that Jamal and I had gotten. Especially, I didn't have my belly no more. So like literally being in a bed, like it was just amazing. But like,
You want.
Right. Even just like, for her to take him for an hour or two, just it really did help because when I woke up, I felt refreshed. I felt prepared for the day. But now I look back now and I'm like, I'm so thankful for that because if we didn't, we would have just been drained and tired, and you start to feel more overwhelmed when you're drained and tired. And
Yeah,
then when with dealing with the baby, the baby crying, the baby, and then with breastfeeding, the baby's breastfeeding, you're you're more likely to get, drained and washed out a lot quicker than just giving the baby a bottle.
exactly. That's like another
Mhm.
thing that I didn't like since I didn't research any postpartum stuff and I ended up just going through it with emotions and Googling or YouTubing as I went along. I took like until I started feeling what I was feeling, I instantly remembered and reminded myself, I was like, you just had a baby.
Right.
Your body just did this drastic thing for the first time ever because it was
Mhm.
my first baby. Did this brand
Yeah.
new thing for the first time ever, gave birth, built a child, grew a child, gave birth to a child. Your body's
Mhm.
tired because you're healing.
Yeah.
So it's natural
Yeah.
healing. And now add on breastfeeding, which we all
Mhm.
know makes you a billion times more tired. Like you can
Yeah.
sleep anywhere when you're pregnant and when you're breastfeeding,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
So you're doing those two things, and now you're trying to adjust to this new body that you have.
Mhm.
Then, because it was not even that you're adjusting to a new body because you don't look like your old self, that too, but also because for the past 9 to 10 months, you've been like this with a belly.
Yeah.
Adjusting to a third body.
Mhm.
And then you're trying to figure out how to keep this little one alive and
Mhm.
functioning and happy and how to soothe them
Mhm.
and how to make them smile and all these things. Like you're taking care of two people at once.
Yeah.
And then
Then
imagine
it
the
gets
women who have
overwhelming too
multiple
because exactly. Then it gets overwhelming too because it's like you're going through all of that and you still have to deal with everything from the outside world, everything in your household, Once you get home, there's a billion and one people that want to visit. One thing that I remember breaking down to Jamal one day, and I was like, because there's people that want to come over every day,
children.
to see the baby. And I appreciate it because obviously I'm glad that, there's everyone has this excitement for my baby. But I remember breaking down to Jamal one day and I was like, I need like a break. Like I just want to stay in bed all day.
Yeah, yeah,
We don't need visitors every day. Like, it gets overwhelming because I'm not even getting a chance to be with my own son,
yeah,
because everyone wants to come over, and then it just also like Jamal, he had taken off of work when the baby was born, intentionally for when the baby was born, so he can even bond with him. So it's like, like goodness, like I had already envisioned, we would just be to ourselves, some days. And even things like that can be overwhelming because everyone wants to see the baby. You really don't get a chance to just kind of relax and breathe.
yeah,
And then, like even when people come over, like it's not, oh, like, oh, now I get a chance to go do X, Y, and Z. Like now you have to host and you have to cater to people. Oh, do you
yes,
need water? Do you need like no, like I mean, I feel like it has to be spoken about more where it's normal to say, hey, no, you cannot come over today.
yeah,
You'll come over when I invite you and I say, hey, if you're ready to see Milo, come over at this time at such and such time.
yeah,
So eventually it got to a point where like I had to start telling people, okay, we're only available during this time frame or come at this exact time if you, and in my head I'm like, if you can't make it if you can't make it by that time, then we'll try a different day because I'm already dealing with my own thing, with my own things going on. I'm, trying to learn my baby, take care of my baby, also learn the new motions with my husband. And
yeah,
also that's a bonding experience for us as well. And it's hard to deal with visitors in the mix of all of that.
yeah,
So that's also something I had to learn. And obviously I didn't say it harshly, but I mean, at the end of the day, people take it how they want to take it, but you have to put yourself first in that situation. You know what's changing with your body, put yourself first, and whatever you feel overwhelmed with, whatever your thinking has to change, and that's what you have to, implement throughout your day.
Yeah. Yeah, don't ever feel pressured that just because there's a new baby in the family or in whatever
Right.
relationship that you have to go ahead and show your baby today.
Right.
Now, the only thing that I would say is different from our experience is the day that we came home, our family did come see our babies, but they weren't there for 6 hours long.
Yeah. So you see, that's how, like, even you guys had came out the first day, but it was like an hour and that's it.
That was it. And then, okay, so it doesn't have to be a 6 hour long visit. And that's how it was for us. It was a quick hour, if that, and then
It's that, yeah.
left. And especially for
Yeah.
me, that's how it was. But that doesn't mean you got to come back tomorrow. Like, unless you're
Right.
help and I don't need to cater to you and host you, depending on the situation, you might be welcome. Like, obviously, if you're my family, you're always welcome to my house. My house is your house. But don't come from you to expect me to make you lunch or
Right.
cater to you, get you water. Like, if you're gonna go to see a postpartum mother and family,
Hmm.
go with the wherewithal that, you know what, go pick up those dishes for her. Go wash those dishes. Go sweep her floor real quick. That takes 2 minutes to sweep somebody's floor. Like, ask her if she needs help unpacking the hospital bags. Ask her if she needs you to wash the baby real quick so she can go take a shower. Or go
Yeah.
take a 30-minute nap. Like,
Right.
if you're gonna go see a postpartum mother, go do for her. Go help. Don't just sit
Right.
on the sofa with the baby and
Mhm.
like see that she's sitting there hovering, waiting for you to be like, oh wait, no, no. If you're holding my baby and you smell that he used the bathroom, and you would have my permission to change my child, which would only be my family.
Right.
If you had the permission to change my child, either ask me if you can change him or go ahead and take the authority. I hate when somebody's like, oh, his diaper. Okay, you're holding him, right? I done changed 60 diapers. Like,
Right.
but just do things that are gonna help her, make her life easier. Bring her her favorite lunch. Bring her
Yeah.
her favorite slushie. Like, I don't care. Bring
Yeah.
her something
One thing that
for her.
Right. One thing that made me feel really good, and it was like, random things, which I feel like, especially as women, when going to see a postpartum mother, you have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Like, one thing, like, I know when I came home from the hospital, Nana and your mom had made me a soup, one
Yeah.
of our Puerto Rican soups. But like my parents, they had the outside of the house decorated. It's a boy, welcome home, baby. All of them had bought me like bouquets of flowers.
Yeah.
Excuse me. There was another time where like it was like a random day. My sister-in-law, Portia, she came and she brought me a bouquet of flowers that it said woman power on it. And
Yeah.
I think it was like Women's International Week or something, or month or something. But even like little things like that, like it's not even always like, oh, you have to, physically buy somebody, oh, spend $100 on them, or, go do like flowers help
A
because it just
card.
makes you a card, lunch, just coming to see them and or just texting them, how are you feeling today? Everyone's so worried about the baby, which
Yeah.
should be, but also check on the mom as well. So like one thing that my family did really good with was, they always checked on Milo and myself. And you guys constantly did things for me. Um, and I mean, I feel like I don't know. I feel like once I know someone, now that I've had a baby and I know someone that would have a baby after me, those will be things that I carry in my mind forever because I've experienced it. I know the things that you would like, what you wouldn't like. So, you grow to respect it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Not a little bit more, you grow to respect it a lot more
Yeah.
than what, we've known before.
It's so crazy because now that I'm a mother and that we are mothers, I really
Mhm.
like, I mean, we've lived with our mothers our whole lives with our families. So
Mhm.
we've seen the things that they've done, but we've never seen it from their point of view. We've just
Yeah.
watched from outside, or from the sideline.
Mhm.
Now I see like all the things my mom had to do while
Yeah.
raising me. And I look, first of all, let's go ahead and tell it. I've always wanted children. I've always wanted children. Nothing would stop me from being a mother or
Girl,
having.
that's how I am.
I will always be a mother. Like I've always wanted to be a mother, and I know like my goal is to have more children. God willing, that happens, or universe willing, that happens. But I commend single mothers so much, and I
Yeah.
always have while being raised by a single mother. But now that I am a mother, and
Mm-hmm.
thankfully, I have Malik as my spouse to help me parent and to parent with me and do this thing together. There were so many days with Kaya that I was just like, oh my God, I don't know how people do it. Like, I don't know how people are single mothers. Like, how do you stay sane? Like, and those
Yeah.
would just be out like a couple hours at a time that Kaya is just like, I don't know, throwing a tantrum or like crying because he's a baby and that's how he communicates.
Right, right.
It's just like it's scary to think that people actually go through this by themselves, and I couldn't imagine going through postpartum by myself. And
Yeah.
aside from even with a spouse, even with my family, the big family support that we have that help us with everything.
Yeah.
Really, if you're a single mother out there or you were raised by a single mother, kudos to you and all of your props. You deserve the world and you're amazing because
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
not an easy job at all. It's not an easy job. It's not easy. It's not an easy job when you have hope. Raising,
Right.
raising children is not easy at all. There's no, like they love to say, there's no book. That is so true. There's
Yeah.
no book.
Yep. And there's no right or wrong way
No.
because you do things according to what fits best for you and your child and your family that you're forming. There's no right or wrong way to do something. There's always, people that say, no, you should do it this way. If you want to do it the way you initially started, do it your way.
Yeah. That's
There's
very.
no right or wrong way. There's no book that says you need to do it in this actual step. Not that I mean, just do it how you feel fits best for you and your baby.
And
Because I mean, you know what's best for you and your baby anyways.
yeah. And I'm not one for unsolicited advice,
Hmm.
but one thing I really want to say is when you're going through your postpartum, if you get that mom advice that people love to just throw in your face and be like, oh, you should do it like this. Oh, you should do this. You should do that. I
Hmm.
know you're going through your postpartum feelings, so you don't know how to respond, or you might go ahead and lash out at them, or you just might do what they're advising you to do. Don't
Yeah.
feel like that. Don't feel like that.
Right.
Because even though you're doing it to make them happy, you're supposed to be doing this to make yourself and your kid happy. You're not supposed to
Hmm.
be doing this to make them happy. And
Yeah.
all you're gonna do later on when you listen to their advice is sit in your room and be like, damn, like I don't know why I gave in. It's just so many emotions going on. You'll
Hmm.
feel better if you keep doing it the way that you're doing it. As long as it's
Exactly.
a good way and you're not swinging the baby like this,
Right.
then
Right.
you should be able to do it. That's like when I went to Kaya's first appointment.
Hmm.
Well, no, not his first appointment. I think his like month appointment or something. I asked the doctor, I was like, what? I was like, can I put him in the pool? Like, is that okay? I don't know, because my first kid, he's brand new, his skin is sensitive, maybe whatever. She was like, you can do whatever you want with your baby. And I've implemented that sentence into everything.
Hmm.
You can do whatever you want with your baby. As
Yeah.
long as you're keeping your baby safe, you're good.
Mhm.
That's the only
Right.
thing I recommend. That's the only but I could think of is as long as they're
Right.
safe, do whatever you want with your kid.
Right.
So, yeah. Especially in those first days. And it's so important in those first days to also try, if you can, try to, you know what I would recommend maybe? Leading into what I was trying to say is maybe try to write down what's happening every day. And then
Hmm.
that might help you. I didn't do this, but I just thought of this. So hopefully it's a good idea. But if you try to write down what's happening every day as much as you can, because you're busy, you just had a baby, maybe you can start seeing a pattern in what your little one is doing, and it can make it easier for you. So you can try to implement, okay, let me do a 2-minute face mask. Okay, I have 5 minutes to brush my teeth. Like,
Yeah.
if you do that, that might help you. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, if
I know one thing that had helped me would be, I mean, me, like I like to cook. So in the morning, I would feed Milo his first um breastfeeding, his first breastfeeding,
you know,
and then Jamal would stay with him. He'd, say like go wash up, take a few minutes, do what you want to do. I'll go brush my teeth, fix my hair up a little bit. And I'm not gonna lie, even still to this day, most of my days, half of the days I spent in pajamas. So
oh
I'm
yeah,
not gonna lie and say, oh, I got beautified and all of that. No, I brushed my
took
teeth
a
and
shower.
I might have fixed my hair up. But
That's the truth.
then what I would do, I would go and make breakfast. And even though like some people they look at it like, oh, you're making breakfast and you're working or whatever. But for me, that was like I just love to cook. So I feel like when I'm in the kitchen, like I feel, I'm doing something for me. So that's my form of like a self-care moment where, I'm doing something that pleases me and it just benefits that it's going to please my husband too, because obviously I'll be making him breakfast too. But that's one thing that made me feel good. I'll be in the kitchen, I'll put my favorite TV show on, or sometimes I would put like, I'll let my playlist run. So I have a playlist on my phone that was from Milo's baby shower.
Oh yeah.
And I literally always keep adding songs to that playlist. And I would just press shuffle and let that playlist go. And then by the time I was finished, it'll be time to feed him again. I can eat. So that was something like I would feel good doing. Or even like what we would do was we would try, because like when Milo was born, it was chilly outside, but towards like mid-March, it started warming up a lot. So we would go on like a 45-minute walk. Me, Jamal, and the baby. We'll put the baby in his stroller and we'll go on a 45-minute walk. And Jamal and I would just talk
Yeah.
about anything that came up. We'll talk about the baby, obviously. We'll talk about what type of house we want. We'll talk about financial stuff. We'll talk about what type of dates we want to go on when COVID is over or whatever.
Yes.
Just like random stuff. Like Jamal and I always get into random topics, but like our walks, like those were always something that I would look forward to. From when I woke up, I would look forward to it because I'm like, I can't wait for our walk. We get to let out some energy, get some peace of mind,
Fresh air.
fresh air. We get to have some sunlight. So it felt good. Like even something like that, it felt good. And even though I was still with the baby, it still felt good for me because I mean, even on the walks, he was in the stroller, they pass out in the stroller. So,
Yeah.
it's not like if he was like, screaming the whole time. So, he's sleeping and we're just walking.
Yeah.
But even like little things like that, or, like I'll feed him at night and I'll put him to bed. And then like if he would wake up, Jamal would jump in, but I would take that time to do my nails, paint my toes, curl my cuticles, paint my nails, maybe pluck my eyebrows. Cause at that point in time, I was still not going anywhere because of COVID. And then plus I was fresh out of, delivering a baby. Just doing anything that made me feel good.
Yeah.
Even my sister, she'd do my toes sometimes. She'd offer, oh, let me do your toes. Or let me tell you how cute my sister is. She has set up a self-care day for my sister-in-law and I. So Paradise and I. And she did face masks. She did the pore strips. She made lip mask out of honey and sugar. Like just little things like that. Like they help you, but it's also really appreciative in the long run for you and your mental.
Yeah. That's well, this is a kind of a little bit, well, this is after postpartum a little bit, maybe 3 months after I had Kaya. So
well, girl, technically you're in postpartum 12 months.
yeah. So in postpartum, mind you, the pandemic started March of that year. So I had
Yeah.
month and 5 days after, and I had been home. Like, I didn't go anywhere. I didn't really have to go anywhere either. So
Mhm.
I was just home with Kaya, and it's me and Malik with Kaya or whatever, and our family. But Allie, Emerald's sister that she was just talking about, she spent like all of last summer with me. And
Mhm.
slept over every single day. Would go home for the weekend, come back on Monday. Like,
Yeah.
she was there every day, and she was the big and still is the biggest help that
Mhm.
I've ever had while
Yeah.
having Kaya in the house. Like,
She is.
downstairs, I have a second to brush my teeth, to use the bathroom, wash my face off,
Mhm.
go feed Kaya again, do whatever I have to do. She would give me my time, and she's great with Kaya and with
Mhm.
all the babies. So one day she planned a date for me and Malik,
Yeah.
and she had my mom cook dinner, and she made us chocolate covered strawberries. She set the table with these pretty placemats. She lit candles. Like, she even set up my record player to play music that we
Um,
wanted. Like, she did the whole shebang, and it was so nice to just have an hour or so together, have a nice calm dinner. Kaya was upstairs with Allie and my mom.
mhm.
It was just so nice to have a second together to decompress,
Mhm.
talk about what's been going on the past couple months, talk about our day or whatever.
Yeah.
And just little things like that help so much.
Yeah.
So amazing.
Yeah, like even I mean, well, before I even say my next thing, Allison, she's like the best
Yeah.
because even like while you're pregnant, and it's so crazy because she just turned 13 this year. She's 13 years old, and she knows more than a 20, 21, 22-year old woman. Like, and she's such a help. Like, she's a big help. Like, when I was pregnant, she helped me all through my pregnancy. And then my baby shower, my 13-year-old sister does not have a job.
No.
She gets an allowance here and there, but she does not have a job. She spent, and her allowance is not going to equal what an adult can buy you. But even to a baby shower, showing up, she doesn't show up empty handed. Her gift is separate from what my parents get you or whatever. Like, she had gotten Milo all of these, like she got him towels, washcloths, bought him a teddy bear, even starting from that. Then Milo's born. She literally helps every single, to this day, she still helps every single day. She
Yeah.
spends at least like an hour or two out of the day with Milo,
Yeah.
just so I can go take a shower, do what I gotta do, record or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and that's, of course, if Jamal's here, he's his dad, he jumps in, but most of the, like, during the day, it's no one here. So she jumps in.
Yeah.
Um, and she's just a big help. She's a big help. Even like she knows how to make Milo smile and do this like giggle. We even took her with us to go get our professional pictures taken for
Oh,
his
I didn't know
6 months.
she went.
Yeah, she went because we needed her so like that he can be
Yeah.
smiling in some of the pictures. Um,
That's so funny and cute.
right.
I love her.
But I did too. But what I was gonna say, another thing, Jamal and I went on our first date. Milo was 2 months, and it was my birthday. I wanted something, simple at home, just a bar, just a cookout. And, we invite certain people over here and we just enjoy our day. So him and my mom had gone together. My mom was like, no, like take her out. You guys haven't done much. She deserves a break from, the baby and just being home all the time. So the day before my cookout, Jamal, him and I went out. And it felt so good to have like adult time,
Yeah.
to decompress, to talk to each other without, having the baby around, or just, to talk and, have certain topics in depth, like so in depth. Um, and it just felt good. Like I had my first drink that night. I was,
Oh my God, I remember you texted me.
yes, that was I thought I still had my tolerance like I was prior to getting pregnant. But I mean, it just feels good to even have people in your corner like that. And, obviously, like I 100% trust my mom. I know she's not gonna let Milo cry. She will figure out what's, bothering him down to the T, so it felt good even stepping out of the house without even have to worry about like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to check on him every hour. I'm gonna have to FaceTime, 10 times until I get home. So it feels good to have that little break once in a while. Even recently I went to one of my close friends' weddings and it felt good to be out of mommy mode. Right. It felt good to be out of mommy mode for a day. But when I tell you, when I got home, I missed my baby so much that I was like, oh, I kissed him. I put him right on the boob. My boobs were aching. But
Did you get some pump when you were there?
yeah, girl, I was there from like 7 in the morning. Yeah. I pumped like maybe 4 or 5 times.
Oh,
And then I didn't even notice how my dress had fit. It was really tight and fitted where I didn't even notice that my boobs were so engorged.
uh-huh.
When I got home, I like, obviously I washed my hands, I gave my baby a kiss, and I went straight in the shower before I even grabbed him. And when I got in the shower, it felt like I had rocks. Literally, like when I got out the shower, I went to the room and I told you, I was like, feel this. It felt like I had little crystals all on both sides, all on the
The
sides,
mommy
under. I
crystals.
was like, oh my gosh. I put him right straight on the boob. I was like, come on.
That's
But it
like,
feels good to decompress sometimes,
yeah.
Sometimes, you got to step out of that parent mode, even if it's just for an hour, because at the same time, which, I feel like it's rare that people talk about it, and it might not be called postpartum, but dads also go through things as well, because you got to remember they're going through, first of all, witnessing the changes their wives or their significant other are going through with having a baby. They're going through the changes with learning how to be a dad, handling the responsibility, juggling, everything that has to be done for the baby. But not only that, they're going through the first few weeks without any type of intercourse. Then another thing is just not
I
receiving the
remember.
same love, that you received once upon a time when it was just the two of you.
Yeah.
Like your love changes, but it grows, but you also don't have just a lot of one-on-one time anymore.
Remember
So
that
that's what that's
whole
them.
conversation we had in Jackie's
Girl.
car? Girl, okay, so that whole night, I'm not gonna go into details about the conversation. I'm sorry, guys, but
Maybe we'll bring that up another time.
yeah, that we'll save that one for when the guys are here.
Right, right.
We laughed. We were talking about going through postpartum and being married, having, or not even being married, having a spouse during postpartum. And when I tell you, this is Kaya's birthday, right? Kaya's first birthday, I think, unless it was the next day. I think it was that day.
I think it was that day. Yeah.
So we're in the car, and it's all us. It's me, Amaryllis, our husbands, and our cousin Jackie. And we started talking about postpartum. And girl, when I tell you I lost my voice only from laughing, because me and Amaryllis were laughing so hard
Goodness
because
gracious.
we went through the same situation. I was just
And
like,
it's crazy because I guess every woman really goes through that.
yeah. But I had never
And
talked.
every man, obviously, because the guys were there. Obviously, every man goes through it too.
Yo, I was dying. I've never lost my voice from laughing. I lost my voice from laughing. Ridiculous. But that's to play on to what you were saying about like it's nice to have like the adult time or whatever. That's like the only night that I've spent away from Kaya was on me and Malik's wedding night.
Mhm.
And it was weird for me, but also Kaya was, how many months was he? He was 7 months. And Kaya's a good baby. Like he doesn't really give me no problems. He just likes to eat. As long as he eats, he's cool
Mhm.
to chill and explore. Obviously, you have to watch him because baby's getting
Yeah.
and stuff. But Kaya's a good baby, so I wasn't worried about my mom watching him. He was already on a sleep schedule. So I told her, once you get home, don't play with him, no, don't do anything. Just take him
Mhm.
downstairs, undress him, change him, put his pajamas on, put him
Mhm.
down, and walk out the room. Like he's good. He'll fall back asleep because I'm sure he's sleeping in the
Mhm.
car. But that night, it just felt so good to have personal time with Malik again because it had been so long since we did that, especially with
Yeah.
me being pregnant. So like it was 17 months since me and Malik like went out for a night and did whatever we
Yeah.
wanted for a night. And we actually got to experience that again. And it was just so much fun having fun with my husband. Like
Yeah.
just going around the city, did something, and then went to the hotel or whatever. Wake up in the morning. You don't have to rush out the bed to go take care of somebody.
Yeah.
Get to order breakfast in bed, eat that,
Mhm.
get ready to go back to go see Kaya. We went to an
Yeah.
estate sale after. You know what that is?
A what?
An estate sale.
Mm-mm.
So it's like a yard sale, garage sale type thing, but it's the entire house. So
Okay.
everything in the house is for sale, unless it's
Hmm.
marked that it's not. But most.
Right, right.
So me and Malik found this table, this little like little decorative table or whatever. We found that, took that, went home, and then finally got to see Kaya. Girl, he
Mhm.
didn't even miss me. So whatever. I'm sitting here like I go to the grocery store and I come back and I'm like, oh, I missed you so much. You didn't even miss me, bro, and you're still breastfeeding. Like you didn't miss me,
Right.
but whatever. But yeah, it just feels so good to have that time to decompress. That's a big
Mhm.
thing when you're going through postpartum. I know for a lot of women it's hard because a lot of people don't have a big support system or somebody to really rely on just to
Right.
go take themselves on a date. Go to
Right.
anywhere, a Mexican restaurant or
Mhm.
an Italian restaurant or to a pizza place and just sit down, eat your food for a second, and then go home to your baby.
Right.
Anything would help, but if you don't have that support, then take yourself on a date when the baby finally has fallen asleep, and you pray they're gonna sleep for at
Yeah.
least an hour. Cook yourself
Yeah.
up something, light a candle, play some music, enjoy your
Yeah.
meal, sit there and digest it, and then
Mhm.
get up and do all the other stuff you gotta do.
Yeah.
Don't ever feel bad if you didn't get that laundry done. If you
Mhm.
didn't wash those dishes and now you're waking up to it. Like don't beat yourself up about it. If you wake up in the
Right.
morning and you see those dishes and now you're like, damn, I should have just did it last night. Just be like, well, I actually enjoyed my night that I didn't have to worry about that responsibility.
Yeah.
Just do those little.
And exactly. Something that's super important is your mental health always has to be first.
Yeah.
Like you can't, it's physically impossible to handle anything 100% if you're not 100%. You cannot pour from an empty glass.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure you're 100% in order to even pour into somebody else to, do anything. So if it means taking a step back from your chores to, cater to you, and then it makes you feel 100% and it makes you feel better, where now, okay, I feel good. I'm not overwhelmed anymore. I feel better. Then handle all of that shit later on. There's times where, you know, I mean, I might not do laundry for a few days and then I'll do something and I feel like, you know what, I feel like cleaning today. I
Yeah.
go ahead, clean the whole place, to do my laundry, and I've gone into a very good habit because I made it fun. I
Yeah.
wash my laundry and I fold my clothes right after. I just started doing that within like the
To
past
do to make it
2
fun.
months, maybe. Right. Maybe like the last 2 months, month and a half.
What's your secret?
And what I do is I either put on my favorite show.
Oh yeah.
Well, when I do it, I make sure Milo's occupied. Either he's taking a nap or he might be with my sister, or if it's a day Jamal's home, leave him with Jamal. And or if my grandma's here, leave him with my grandma. And it's super fast. It literally takes like 20 freaking minutes.
Yeah.
Like you stall the whole time and you're like, I don't even feel like folding those clothes. And then by the time you know it, 25 minutes later, you're completely done and it's in the drawers.
Yeah.
But what I do, I make sure Milo's occupied, put on either a show or I'll put on some music or I'll FaceTime and then just fold my clothes. By the time you know it, 20 minutes pass, you're done. Press pause on my show, put everything in the drawer, and then go back to Milo.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, that's really what I do. And I've noticed like now that I realize how short of a time it takes to fold clothes, I'm like, you know what? I need to get it done. I'm
Yeah,
not about to let it sit in there for 20 minutes. For me
exactly.
to go plop my butt on the couch for 20 minutes and watch TV, I
Yeah.
could be folding clothes.
And you can watch that same show.
And exactly. And I could watch that same show.
The
So
thing,
like even something like that.
yeah, with me, what I do to be able to get laundry done is I might start a load in the day. So what I'll usually do is in the daytime, I'll start a load and then I'll put it in the dryer and then I'll start a second load. When that load is done drying, I'll take it out, put it in a bin, and come put it in my room. And then
Hmm.
I'll put that second load to dry. And I usually won't get to folding until after 7 when Kaya's asleep
Hmm.
because it's just hard. Like if I'm here by myself and Malik's at work and I have to fold clothes, Kaya literally,
Right.
I folded something, he goes,
Yeah, well now he walks now,
nothing
so
here.
he's
He
grabbing
literally,
everything.
the
Yeah.
way he just flings it, like he'd be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like it's like you do that on purpose. So I'll wait until nighttime, but I'll fold everything up, make my sections of whose is what,
Hmm.
and I'll put the folded stuff away, and then I come out the closet with all the hangers. I hang up everybody's stuff. I separate
Yeah.
my pile and Malik's pile, and then I go back and I put that. And that's the easiest system I found for myself. But I
Yeah.
also do it while watching something. So now
Right.
I wanted to share the postpartum videos I used to watch on
Hmm.
YouTube because this just reminded me of who it was. Because when I was pregnant and I was doing laundry, this is what I was
Hmm.
watching. So now I wasn't watching her videos when her postpartum videos, but I was watching the birthing videos and the breastfeeding videos.
Oh, is that the lady that you had sent me?
Yeah. But now that I'm trying to look for it, I don't have her name on here. If anything, I'll try to keep looking discreetly, but if I don't find it, I'll put it in the link for this video so you guys can
Yeah.
to watch her videos because they were really good and they really helped me a lot. And you just gotta listen to what she's saying so you can start learning it. It took me a video
Right.
or two to get into it, but then once I started folding clothes and I'm listening, I'm like, oh shoot, wait, that makes sense. Let me rewind it. Then that's when I
Right.
really got into it. But she was really good. She's the one that helped me, and I know she has postpartum videos for you guys. And I know there's 100 other YouTubers, but they're out there, and there's somebody to give you advice or to listen to
Mhm.
you. You guys can reach out to us as much as you want to.
Exactly. DM us, write to us on YouTube, anything like if if we can be the coping mechanism that you need, we'll be that.
Yeah, that's like even we haven't done a breastfeeding video yet, but we will. And
Mhm.
if you guys have breastfeeding questions and you haven't seen that video yet because we haven't made it, just send us a question and we'll be more than
Yeah,
happy to help you. So
exactly.
I don't want to keep looking now because I don't want to get distracted, but I'll link it in the description. Her
Mhm. But yeah, I mean, if you feel like you need somebody, reach out to us. Look up videos to kind of get over that hunch. Take a walk. Take a 20-minute shower instead of the 2 to 5 minute shower you might get a chance to take. Take
girl.
a bubble bath. Like just do something for you because, like I said, you can't pour from an empty glass. You have to make sure you are 100% in order to take care of anything or anybody else.
So Ambrose, I have a question.
Hmm.
So do you believe okay, let's say this is the question. You
Hmm.
have a husband, right? You're a wife, you have a husband,
Hmm.
and you have a child or children. Do you believe that you and your husband come first before the children or no? And
It's
why?
crazy because Jamal and I just had that. Well, not just we've had that conversation like months ago.
Mhm.
So if you want to go back to like the Bible, it's supposed to be God, your husband, your children, and they say in that order because when you find your spouse, it's supposed to be where you guys are a union forever.
Yeah.
And then your children, obviously you have your children, you're raising them to put them in the real world and then they leave.
Yeah.
But me, I mean, I feel like,
Sorry.
no, it's okay. I feel like if anything, it's a hard question because I feel like for me, Milo, like that's someone that I birthed. That's someone that literally I cater to 24/7. That's someone that, not that I'm saying Jamal and I will ever break up, ever get divorced, but that is someone that will always be a piece of me, is my child.
Yeah.
So I feel like if anything, Jamal and him are either on the same or he's right above him, only because, like that. I mean, he's my baby. He will always be my baby. And he's always going to be a part of me. He's something that lived inside of me. I helped him grow. He helped me in ways. So it's like, that's how I feel. I feel like we're the three of us would be on the same stance. I
Yeah.
feel like, I mean, I don't know, that's just how I feel.
So like I completely agree with you. I
Mhm.
feel the same. The only thing that makes me have a time like this much of a different idea is the what you were saying, that you can't pour a glass that's empty or whatever
Mhm.
you said, because of course our children come first. Like of course,
Mhm.
God forbid I ever had to choose,
Mhm.
I would choose Kaya. And I know
Mhm.
Malik would want me to choose Kaya. That's his child. But
Right.
I feel like you and your husband come first just because you guys are the foundation for what you're creating. So
Mhm.
if you guys are not okay, your mental health isn't okay, your relationship isn't okay, you have to figure out how to fix it, help it, or leave it alone and go separate ways or whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
so that you can help your children.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's why I say, like, I feel like we would all just be at the same level, because I feel like as long as Jamal and I are always okay, obviously Milo will always be okay. But I just feel like I can't say I put Milo below both of us because he's our creation. So for me, it's like I don't look at it as like there's a certain order that we're in. I look at it like, yes, I know mentally I have to take care of myself. I know my husband also has to be taken care of, but at the end of the day, our child has to be taken care of. He's the ultimate goal to everything.
And the other
So
thing is like when we're talking about like postpartum and your mental health and make sure that you're good, the way that I say it is like the same as we've been saying it, but you have to make sure that you're good, because how do you ever expect to help anybody else if you're not okay?
exactly.
Like, let's say, okay, you're postpartum, trigger warning for blood again, and you need to change out whatever thing you're using to gather the blood from being postpartum and bleeding. If you sit in that all day long, that's not gonna feel okay for you, you know?
Hmm.
So you have to
Yeah.
if your baby
And you can even hurt yourself even more.
exactly, you don't want any of that. If your baby
Mhm.
has to cry for 1 whole minute that you're in the bathroom changing, cleaning
Mhm.
yourself up, washing your hands, getting back ready to go back out there, it's okay. Like
Yeah.
the biggest thing I would want to tell you guys is that your baby's gonna cry. Your
Yeah.
baby's gonna cry. It doesn't matter if you're holding them or anything. They're gonna at least cry once,
Yeah.
minimum. And once is a stretch because they're gonna cry more than that. But
Yeah.
don't feel sad because they're crying. That's the way they're communicating. They're talking to you. They're saying, "Mommy, I'm uncomfortable. I want to sit in a different chair, or I want to get up. I want to lay on my back, or Mommy, I'm hungry, or Mommy, I got gas, or Mommy, my diaper's
Yeah.
wet." They're trying to tell you, or Mommy, this onesie's too tight, or I don't like this. Like they're gonna tell you,
Yeah.
Mommy, this blanket smells like throw up. Like I don't want this
Mhm.
blanket anymore. I just threw up.
Yeah.
That's the way for communicate, that's the way that they communicate. So don't be overwhelmed because they're crying. And I know it happens to
Exactly.
the best of us, like it happens to everybody. You get scared
Mhm.
because baby's crying, but that's the way they're going to communicate. They can't say, "Hey mom," so they're going to distribute what they're saying with a cry, with a wail, with whatever.
Exactly.
Don't get overwhelmed either.
Exactly. I agree.
Why not? What else? Is there anything that we haven't covered?
Um, I think for the most part we have. Um, Definitely I want you to look for the link that you were just talking about.
The lady.
That way, yeah, for the lady that has a different videos. That way, I feel like that would be some type of good information to, excuse me, provide our subscribers, because I know there has to be at least one or two people that have been through this or are currently going through it.
I know one follower currently that is going through it, and hopefully
Yeah.
she's been
So,
watching and she catches this video next week.
right. So I believe that will help. Also hopefully our video helps. And if you feel like you want something specifically addressed, let us know and we can address it.
Yeah.
For the most part, I feel like we've addressed the aspects that we have on it, or how it could help, what you could do to help postpartum, or how you can cope with it. Um, so yeah. Do you think we're missing out?
I can't think of anything that we're missing. I
Mhm.
just wanted to say that Emerald and I do have a family who are a great support system in our lives.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I wish we had more advice for the women out there who don't,
Yeah.
or even the men who are single
Mhm.
parents and don't have that support system, or whatever, like whatever your situation is.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you guys ask us questions, we do know people and we do have family members who we can always ask for advice to help us answer what you guys are asking. So don't be afraid to reach out just because we may have not answered your question, because we're here to
Mhm.
help. That's why we created this platform, was to create a voice for other women and for other parents and for anybody, not just women, for any gender.
Yeah.
And we just want to help out and share our experiences. So if we miss something, let us know. If you have some advice you need answered, let us know. Like I said, my mom was a single mother. Our grandmother was a single mother. Amaryllis's mom was a single mother for a little bit. So we can help. We just would have
Yeah.
to ask, people who actually went through it. Because I'm not going to give you guys answers that I don't know the answer to.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
but
I agree.
and if you guys, even with this episode or with any episode, if you guys ask a whole bunch of questions and we realize, like, dang, we did not answer that, we'll always
Yeah.
make part two to a video.
Exactly.
And that's easy to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we didn't address something specific, just let us know and we'll be more than happy to address it in the next video. Just let us know. Be open with us, and we're on a path where we want to be just as open with our audience. We want to be 100%. We want to be authentic, and we want to share our experiences to the world, because there are other women out there that feel like they can't share certain things, or maybe they're told not to. So just let us know and we'll be more than happy to share or relate or just even give advice on,
Or even just anything. You
or
comment.
just to talk about. Sometimes you just want to hear something spoken about, and
Exactly.
that'll be all the help you need.
Yeah.
So
So yeah. Well, I think that was a very good episode. That
it
went well.
was. Yes, it was.
Feel like we didn't cover anything, let us know. But
Hmm.
I hope this helped for the lady who asked for it.
Yes, and reach out to us. Let us know that you heard our video. Um, for everybody else, continue to watch our videos, support. Thank you guys for always supporting us. Follow us on Instagram, and of course, subscribe and send us any suggestions if there's anything specific you want us to talk about.
Yeah. Um, okay. Well, good night, guys.
Okay. Good night, guys.
Thanks for tuning in. See you next Monday.
See you next Monday.